opening up more on living words and my process I've walked thus far with living words through walking and participating in the Desteni-I process. And living words has been something that I've been opened up to through EQOF and the Desteni process and people participating in this process, and it has I've kind of been just learning, trying to understand how to walk it, and through learning and testing it out and practicing myself, I have found ways to support myself to understand how to redefine words and how to put that into practice. One thing I realized is that it is like a physical practice. It's not something that is mind-based, because it takes time to integrate and walk certain parts of your day to be able to live words. Like, not every word that I redefine can be lived in every moment. It obviously takes a context and a situation to live words, but you can also live a word in every moment. Like, that is possible. Like, you can just, like, I was just making my bed and I started thinking about all the things that I haven't done and how I was going to self-sabotage, like self-abuse, how I'm not living up to my potential and how I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and how I'm wasting my opportunity and my time, and all this. I started going off into my mind, and I know this pattern of myself. It's self-sabotage. I do this. It's a system internally that is part of who I am and what I've created as my physical, or as my behavior thinking patterns. So I'm changing these thinking patterns to be more self-supportive and self-caring and self-love. So as I was seeing myself go into these thought patterns, I said, okay, here's a point where I can live self-care and self-love. And I realized in making my bed and supporting myself to take the time to make my bed properly, make sure that the sheets are crisp and how I like them, and put effort into making, the bed look nice with the pillows and the comforter, folded over, and it looks, balanced and inviting when I come into my room. And I see this as a point of self-care and self-love that I'm giving to myself as I support myself in my environment, as I take care of what I am placing for myself in the future. So when I come into that room again, I will come into a clean, inviting space, not something that's disorganized and unkept and things like that, which I don't enjoy. So I realized in that moment I can just change myself. I can stop the thinking patterns and start looking to see what I'm actually doing in my reality. I'm making my bed, I'm taking care of myself. I can become more physical in my movements when I do make my bed, so I'm more specific and more aware of how I'm placing the bedspread and the pillows and things like that. Because as you take care of your environment and what you do and how you place things, it starts to create a balance in the way you move in your reality. And I guess it's like a experience that I'm creating for myself. Now, it's not to say that I need to have this experience to be able to love myself or care for myself, but it's a point that I've been walking daily to make my bed and keep my room clean, and when it's not clean, make an effort to, if it's not clean for a couple of days, make an effort to clean it. But I do walk the making my bed every day, and I use that as a point of self-care and self-love in recognizing myself and realizing that I am creating a way for myself to enjoy my environment in times to come. And it's a way of how I live self-care for myself. Another way I do it is I give myself an hour to either take a bath with like salts, like a Epsom salt bath, or some kind of essential oils to soak in, which I extremely enjoy. And so I support myself and I give myself care through giving myself that time to relax and enjoy the heat of the water, and just soaking in that water, and just enjoying the heat of it in the moment, and the time to just breathe, and maybe listen to Equaf if I have the inkling to do that, or just give myself some time to just take a break. And so I have associated that with my redefining of self-care. I'm also supporting myself in what I put in my body, so caring for my physical and what is best and balanced for my physical body, which I've been supporting myself with smoothies, like making smoothies in the morning or after work, and just like first, instead of having some kind of ice cream or something that's not super, like dairy for me is not supportive for my body, so instead of, which I highly enjoy, I really like milk, dairy, but it just is not supportive in my body. It doesn't work. So foregoing that and putting like a smoothie in my body, which is like any kind of fruits and veggies that I have, and I put in the blender obviously, and I make a cool smoothie, which is more my body responds more smooth to that stuff. It enjoys it better. So that's the way I live the word self-care for myself as well. So just finding ways to live this for myself, give myself the honor and respect to take that extra effort, such as getting smoothie things ready, not going to the store and making, buying a smoothie, but actually taking the time for myself to make myself a smoothie, because that's caring for, I see it as caring for my future, where I spend my money in places that are more conducive to support points and things that I am more inclined to support, that are more solution oriented for everybody to be supported, instead of putting money towards a smoothie that I could just make myself. So that's another way I live self-care, is making things rather than just going out and buying it, which all of these points have been like an addiction, like just leaving my room in the mornings, forgetting, because that extra effort to go and make my bed does take extra physical effort. I have to push myself to do it. And making the smoothie in the morning rather than going to buy a smoothie is giving myself that point of self-care and putting in the effort to support not only me as a being, but my physical body equally so. That's caring for my physical. That's caring for me. And not buying the smoothies or the breakfasts and things like that, but putting in the effort in the morning and making it so I save money and put it towards points of support that I want to take care of, like foundations that I'm a part of and groups I'm a part of, and giving money towards things that are going to bear fruit of solutions for all people, all animals here, doing what's best for all. And this has been walked over time. It's not something that I've done in a day. It has taken time to move through my addiction points and energies and desires and things that are all intertwined in all these points that I just discussed, because all of it's there, and it takes effort and a push of self-movement to go ahead and live new words, live words that are more supportive and support my highest potential and that of all other beings as best possible, as best I'm able to. And so that's just some ways I've lived the word self-care for myself, and just some perspective on it, and how I've walked it, and how I've kind of the ups and downs of it. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.